This is going to be part 2 of Portland. How is the city doing? An honest opinion. I did part 1 about 6 months ago. Part 2 wasn't exactly planned actually, but part 1 got so much engagement that it made sense to do another one. If you want to watch that video, you can just watch it right here. If you don't want to watch it, what did I say in that video? Well, I said that there's some people that are exaggerating how bad the city of Portland is, and then there's other people that are downplaying the state of Portland, and that the truth probably falls somewhere in the middle. Not exactly the spiciest take, I know, but I think the more important point is, why do people feel like that? Because I can empathize with both groups. People that are saying that Portland is really, really bad right now, I think are just looking back to the times before 2020 when, let's be honest, Portland was in a lot better shape. I don't think you're gonna find anybody that won't tell you that. So those people have a legitimate gripe, you know, and rightfully so. They are wanting to get back to a time when they felt like the city was in better shape. And then the other people that are downplaying it, what do I mean by downplaying it? Usually that means like taking a pretty picture with no trash, no graffiti on a sunny day. I mean, it could just be something like what you're seeing right here, and posting that online in conjunction with some sort of sarcastic comment like, the city is totally burning down, it's terrible, don't come here, you know, sort of a counter to those people that are exaggerating. So I can feel for those people, because Portland's been in the national news a lot over the last couple years, and not a whole lot of good stuff has been said about us. And if you love this city like I do, then it doesn't feel good. It hurts to hear people saying bad stuff about your beloved city, especially when it's such a beautiful city too. So I understand the people that are downplaying. I feel like, you know, they're just defending this beautiful city that we live in. So it's understandable. So in this video, I'm going to take you through a quick walk down the waterfront, basically just picking back up where I was last time, just a little bit north of there. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to show you some driving footage that I took just before this. Driving footage will go along Nato Parkway, which is just right behind me. That's the road that parallels the waterfront. And then I drove around Pioneer Place. That's where a lot of people go downtown to go shopping. That's where the mall is. Then I drove up to Portland State University, which is also nearby. So there's no editing in any of that. So if you just want to, at the end of this video, check out what the city looks like, stay tuned to the very end. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Living in Oregon, I am your host, Seth Marchant. We're gonna get into the topics here that I have in just a moment. Basically, those topics are gonna just kind of cover like, how is the city doing? Again, this is kind of part 2 of Portland. How is the city doing? An honest opinion. But before I get into that, maybe a couple things I should say about that video and about this video too, because we had quite a few comments. There was really a range of comments, and probably not surprisingly, because a lot of people are passionate about this topic. But one common topic, or one common comment that I noticed, was people accusing us of being selective about the footage and the background and what people were seeing in the background. I think one person used the term carefully crafting. I carefully crafted my video so there wasn't anything negative in the video about Portland. So one thing I want you to know about me, about these videos that I make, is that it won't take you too long of following this channel and listening to me, especially if you meet me. A lot of people that have watched this channel have reached out to us and are now working with us. And one thing that you're probably going to find pretty quickly is that I'm a straight shooter, I'm forthcoming. What you see is what you get. Take it or leave it. I'm not gonna try and talk you into anything. I'm not gonna misrepresent anything. I'm not gonna be inauthentic. So I guess, you know, people probably, because I am a real estate broker, there's the assumption that there's some inherent bias in there, and that I'm just trying to sell people on moving to Portland. Well, one, I don't think that's possible. I don't think that I could talk somebody into moving here that doesn't want to move here. And two, I just don't have any interest. Like I said, take it or leave it. What you see is what you get. If you don't like it, great. If you do, great. If you want to move here, I'm sure you'll love it. If you don't think Portland is right for you, then it's probably not.
So if you want to see some driving footage, you know, that's not carefully crafted. Again, I drove around kind of like the core areas, the higher trafficked areas. Of course, I could find a place in Portland that's in really bad shape, and you know, something that's really dirty, or something, you know, whatever that may be, but that wouldn't be representative of Portland, which is the purpose of these videos. So I'm kind of taking you around the places that are a little bit more higher traffic to give you an authentic sense of what the city's like. And I should say on that topic too, if you work with me as a real estate broker, the same thing applies. I don't think I've sold a house ever in my life. I've helped a lot of people buy and sell houses. I help people, I guide people through transactions, I negotiate, I advise, but I don't ever actually sell anybody on a house. I don't ever talk anybody into buying a house. And I've done sales before, of course. I know what sales is, I know what it feels like. So I'm not trying to sell you on using my services or sell you on coming to Portland in this video. It's not carefully crafted, it's not highly edited. We do some edits in these videos. I hope that it's seamless enough that you don't really notice it, but when I'm out walking around, not the easiest thing to do, honestly. Not like some sort of professional YouTuber or something like that. It's not that easy to walk around, look at a camera, remember all the things that you want to say and not bump into somebody. So occasionally I have to stop. Occasionally somebody flags me down and wants to know what I'm doing, interrupts me. Sometimes I need to refer back to my notes. As you probably can see, these videos are not scripted. This is off the cuff, just as if you and I were having a phone call or a Zoom call. I do keep some notes with me because these videos are designed to be very value dense. I want to pack as much information into this video for you people that are watching that are thinking about moving to Portland as possible. So I do kind of keep some notes to refer to from time to time to stay on topic, but just know that what you're going to see is what you're going to get. These videos aren't selective about the footage or the background. And again, if you want to see exactly what Portland looks like coming into the spring of 2024, just driving around, we'll get to that here in the end of the video. All right, so now on to some of the topics that I wanted to cover. There has been a very concerted effort to clean up Portland. A lot of people have complained about the trash in the recent years, and probably rightfully so, right? And actually, at the end of this video, the driving footage that you're gonna notice, you know, for all the people that wanna accuse me of carefully crafting these videos, you're gonna find the driving footage pretty funny, because I had no idea what was going on today, but apparently there's some big cleanup. I see a lot of people outside picking up trash today. So it's actually not what I'm referring to. I'll have to look up later what these people are out here doing. But Ted Wheeler, the mayor of Portland, over the last couple of weeks or so, has been promoting a lot of the cleanups that they've done. And I can say anecdotally, yeah, it does look cleaner. You still get your bad spots, of course, and a lot of the complaints in the past were because, you know, the cleanups are not new. This isn't anything that Portland hasn't done before, but the big complaints that we saw in the past were people saying, well, how long does it take before the mess is going to come back again? Or is the mess just going to get moved from one place to another? So far, it doesn't seem like that's the case. The city does seem quite a bit cleaner. I will say the graffiti, though, does feel like we have just as much, if not more, graffiti than we did, like, say, 5 years ago. And really everything we kind of compare to is about, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, pre-pandemic, pre-lockdown, before 2020. The next thing is crime. I've covered crime on this channel before. I've got a handful of videos dedicated to it. It's probably about time to release another one. Usually do one about once a year where we go over the stats. So I looked at some of the stats right before we came. Nothing surprising. A lot more of what we've been seeing. In other words, things are trending back down. Things are kind of where they were to pre-lockdown, you know, 2020, 2019 levels. The murder rate, you know, which is the big one that people like to pay attention to, not quite there, but trending in that direction. We do have a new police chief, so I think in general that continues to trend in the right direction. Still hear complaints about people not feeling safe or not wanting to go downtown, not feeling safe enough. Haven't heard the complaints about people not getting their 911 calls responded to in a timely manner, which is definitely a thing for a while. But if you want to see another video on crime, I'm sure we'll do one here soon. Make sure and subscribe to the channel. So kind of the two big ones, the crime and the cleanliness. are trending really well in Portland right now. In general, kind of gives me a reason to continue to be optimistic. And you know, what are some of the things that some of the reasons I might be pessimistic, some of the things that that Portland's probably going to have a tough time solving going forward. Commercial vacancy rate downtown is really bad. In fact, it's the worst for the 50 largest markets. So what we see from that is you know, a lot of people not wanting to work downtown. Now, when you talk about these things, oftentimes, you know, the people that are, you know, defending this sort of thing are saying, well, this is a problem in all cities. And yes, filling office space is a problem in all cities. Apparently, it's worse in Portland than anywhere else. Don't really know why that is. We have a lot of tech, a fair amount of tech in Portland. Perhaps maybe work from home is more prominent here. If you ever watched that series Portlandia, you would know that Portland is the city where young people come to retire.
Whatsoever, maybe working a couple hours a week at a coffee shop.
Right? I thought that died out a long time ago.
Not in Portland. Portland is a city where young people go to retire.
So it's not exactly like we have, you know, the joke is that we don't exactly have the most enthusiastic young workforce here.
The idea that Portland is a place for young people to go and relax and not really work that hard and get by on just a coffee shop job is a real thing.
But either way, that's a problem that the city's going to have to solve. And another thing that's really kind of impacting, or at least you've heard stories of people being impacted by whether or not they want to go downtown, is Measure 110 was recently repealed. So that is a law that made it so that it wasn't illegal to have small amounts of drugs, regardless of what the drug was. Any type of drug you could not be arrested for. I believe you're supposed to be cited and you know, given some sort of access or suggested to go to some sort of rehab. I don't know how much that actually worked, but the outcome was, and this, I think this was really before fentanyl hit too. So when this passed, we hadn't quite seen the effects of fentanyl yet. So I don't think anybody really anticipated all of the open air, you know, people, you'll see some people like smoking marijuana around, but nobody, and I think most people are probably okay with that. Some people don't like the smell of smoke, and understandably so. But nobody expected all of these like fentanyl zombies to start populating everywhere in downtown Portland. So it feels like a little bit of a missed opportunity, because now we're going back to square one, and I believe there has already been arrests. Portland has already been arresting people that they have found to be possessing small amounts of drugs. Now, why did they do that? Of course, you know, for the reason that I mentioned. The open air drug use just got totally out of control, totally out of hand. It was happening, you know, around schools, around kids. People didn't feel safe. Actually kind of surprised that they repealed it and as quickly as they did. And it really feels like a missed opportunity, because like I said, now we're back to square one. And it's probably, if you ever want to go down that path again of trying to, instead of incarcerating people, getting them into rehab, it's probably going to get very tough to get something like that passed again. But that's where we're at, and I think for the most part, that's where people are going to be happy at. Because that was one of the biggest complaints, is all the open air drug use. So Measure 110 repealed. And you know, it was things like that that probably led to, and we did a video on this, if you want to check that out, but Loma County had their first population decline ever. Now, it was just like a fraction of a percentage. It was just a small percentage, but more importantly than that, a lot of those people that left were high income earners. And it's not obvious that the people that moved in, again, the population only went down a tiny bit, so it's not like a bunch of people left and those houses didn't get sold and those spots didn't get filled, but it's not obvious that the people that moved in have the same income. So potentially the city's going to miss out on revenue, thus having less resources to deal with some of the things that we're talking about. So that's also one reason to potentially be a little bit pessimistic about the future. But in general, there's definitely more reasons for optimism rather than pessimism. Now I'm going to take you to some of that driving footage. I hope this little walk and talk through the city helped you get a better look for how things look and how things are going, and what to expect. Again, if you are thinking about buying a home here, if you'd like to move here, if you have questions, we work the Portland metropolitan area as well as that includes Vancouver, licensed in Washington as well. So if you have questions about moving here, I invite you to call, text, email. You can find all of my contact information in the description below. You can hit that QR code if you're watching from TV. And if you want to see more videos and stay updated on what it's like to live in Portland, not just the city, but the suburbs, you know, all the pros and cons, all the good and bad. Like I said, I call it how I see it. We're not going to be carefully crafting these videos. So if you want to continue to see, you know, authenticity and really what Portland is like, make sure and subscribe to this channel. And if this video helped you, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment. I'm sure this video will get lots of comments. We try and reply to them all. I just ask that you keep it civil, of course. I always try and keep it positive. Again, I understand for some of the people, you know, that have some of the negative sentiments about some of the stuff that's been going on in the city, but try and keep it positive. Otherwise, we'll try and comment back. And until next time, take care, everyone.